Thank you, JJ, and the micronutrients team, and all of you for having me here tonight to share with you some data from some experiments that we've conducted over the last several years. The area that I want to talk to you about is a topic that we call the Periweaned calf. So you've all heard about the peri-parturient period and heard other types of words that would use the term peri, but maybe not in the concept of weaning. And we're interested, particularly in Florida, but all of you that have interest in cow-calf production, we're interested in what happens to that calf just prior to weaning and just after weaning. And there's several reasons for that, and I'm going to get into a little bit of that tonight in this discussion. But I just want to introduce our state of Florida and why this is important to us. Florida is not the largest cow-calf state by any means. We generally are around that 11, 12, 13 in terms of total number of beef cows, about the same as Iowa or this state here in Colorado. But we're the largest in the nation in terms of ranches with over 2,500 head of beef cows, and all of those are at or below the I-4 corridor. If you don't know where that's at, that's right there around Orlando and south. And we really don't have a commercial feedlot industry in Florida. We do have some small feeding operations, but nothing like what many of you are familiar with. And so right now, this time of year, July and August, all of those calves are being weaned from cows, loaded onto trucks, and shipped out of the state. We generally try to get rid of all of our calves and get them out of the state before the tropical weather starts, and it's starting right now. And so this whole idea of producing a calf that is healthy, has adequate trace mineral status that can go into a receiving yard and then go on later into the feedlot and be healthy and productive is important to us. And so our area in my lab has focused almost all of our energy on trace mineral nutrition. I'd say in the last 10 or 15 years, we've taken that focus and put it almost entirely on the calf. And so that's the story that I'm going to tell you tonight and kind of walk you through some of our experiences with different trace mineral management systems and the ingredients that we've used. In terms of an overview, all of you are familiar with probably the most limiting trace elements for these grazing beef cattle, and that's zinc, copper, and selenium. I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go. I want to introduce to you this concept of limit creep feeding. And it's too late for me now to change the name because I've been talking about it too much. But if I could go back, I would not use the word creep feeding. A lot of people stop listening when they hear creep feeding. Creep-fed calves, that gain that you get is the most inefficient gain of the entire system. So a lot of people don't like to think about it, don't like to implement it. But this concept is entirely different. So I should have came up with a different name, but I didn't do that. I'm going to introduce that to you. And then I'm going to show you 3 studies where we looked at different trace mineral ingredients, what we call our preferential intake studies. These were all ran to help us overcome a problem that we did not foresee when we went into this limit creep feeding management system. And then as we did that, we learned more as we went along. And I'm going to introduce to you the concept of loss of metals, loss of minerals when those free choice salt-based minerals become wet out in the pasture. We call it precipitation induced mineral loss. And I'll introduce that to you. Then I'm only going to show you 4 slides before I conclude. And I put these in late in the week. But since this is largely an audience of veterinarian experts in cattle, I want to show you what we have found in terms of the performance of these calves in the short period of time after weaning. And that's only in 4 slides.